channel. We've got a special guest today.
Do you know what? I haven't been on your channel for a long time. By the looks of it, neither have you.
I said I'm going to post once a month. The last time I posted was back in February on my 2-year anniversary.
Oh,
but I'm trying, guys. I'm trying.
It's a hard girl, you know, she's working a 9 to 5 and I'm always telling my sister, like, come on, let's film a video together. So I finally managed to get her in a video today and I feel like it's only right to do like a big life update. Like, where have we been, girl?
I've done like backdated videos of 10 months ago. This is a time to catch up and have a little sister talk, have a talk with my best friends.
Time goes by so quickly. Like, we're already in May. So much to update you guys on. Let's kind of like spill the tea.
I'm really into my fitness and running era right now. So I don't know if I've told you guys, but I'm going to be vlogging this. I'm going to tell you guys the journey. But I am running a half marathon in October.
How many miles is that?
That is just over 12 miles, I think.
So I recently got into running this year as well, influenced by my sister. I just about learned how to do 5k and then my sister took me out on a 10k run. Oh my god, my legs were hobbling the next day. My toenail felt like it was falling off. I had blisters on my toes. If anyone is running marathons, props to you, girl, because it's hard. It's like a mental game.
It is such a mental struggle because when you're on that journey, your body is going, but then your mind keeps wandering off. Find this moment really empowering. There's this thing that you think, my God, what can I tackle today? What are my goals that I want to achieve today? What are the to-do lists that I need to do after this? I am also reflective in those moments. How did I engage with people today? What are the things that pissed me off and triggered me today?
Do you say you have like a runner's high? Do you agree with that?
Definitely. I never thought that I would be the type of person that can run a 10k on a daily basis.
Oh, daily? Okay, I don't know about the daily.
I done it 5 days in a row. I'm like, girl, you got this. I remember one of the things that really made me like think, wow, was when I done 10k and I got the medal for it. But I actually didn't train for that. But it did like spark this little fire and ignite this little passion inside me. It was only around about a week ago. Oh, it's so cute. I wrote this in my little reflective of the month. I can actually run 10k without stopping.
No.
Fucking drum roll.
That means that you build up your endurance.
God, there's this euphoria moment when you have this sense of achievement. I never thought that I would get to this stage, and now that you're here, you feel like you are so capable. It is your mindset that is stopping you. If I'm like developing a new passion, a new hobby or something, I have to get all the accessories, all the gadgets.
She's like buying 5 running glasses. I'm like, girl, you just need one.
This is meant to be like quite a cheap little hobby, but it's ended up costing me an arm and a leg.
Is there anything that you found that's really helped you on your running journey then, that you recommend for anyone that wants to get into running?
I recently got this new tool over here. I'm so excited about it. It is the Ultrahuman Ring.
Oh, I have it as well. It is really good.
It is really good, right? Look how aesthetically that is. You don't have to do anything. It tracks and it's clever enough to basically identify if you're going on a run, going on a walk. It tracks your sleeping because you want to track how well you're recovering, and this gives you all the analytics.
I really like the Ultrahuman Ring because it also syncs up with natural cycles. And so if you don't want to take birth control, it also kind of tracks that when you're ovulating.
So I was actually using a thermometer to track, and that was such a nuisance. And one of the reasons why I wanted this was to track my ovulation period and avoid getting pregnant.
When I was doing a lot of research on whether to get the Ultrahuman or the Aura Ring, I like that the Ultrahuman, you don't have to pay like a monthly fee. You just buy the ring once and then you kind of get all the add-ons. Whereas with the Aura Ring, I think you pay like £5.
No, it's a lot more than that. It's quite an expensive subscription, and this is all included in the package.
The only thing I will say about the ring is that you have to remember to charge it every day. Same like your phone, just get into the habit of like charging your Apple Watch, charging your phone, and then charging the ring. But it is really good. I think especially if you don't want to wear like an Apple Watch or something bulky. Like, I know you have the Garmin and you like it, but I think the ring just looks a little bit more like aesthetic.
I've only been using it for around about 2 months, but I love it so far.
Maybe we'll leave the link down below so you guys can like check it out.
I've been with my partner now coming to 2 years. We've moved in and lived together for a year now.
Wow.
It's been a learning curve, I would say. Things are getting a bit more hot and heavy.
Okay. Is it true, like when I told you that when you move in, that's when you really get to know your partner? Because I feel like when I moved in with Guang, we went through like dips. I don't know if I want to live with you anymore. And I think it's like, see, who's going to look after the bills? Who's going to be cooking? And who's going to be cleaning? You feel that resentment towards each other?
I feel like it's still a learning curve. We're still identifying what triggers one another. There's definitely points where I do feel that. I'm trying to like like zen it in and tame it down. Girl, it's not that big of a deal. Is it big in the grand scheme of things to get so wound up about it? There are some habits that I just thought, what? Is this normal?
Like what?
Here, let me give you an example. He has this tendency. I thought I was normal until I moved in with other people. Maybe I'm very frugal because I pay attention to all these bloody damn things. Do you turn off the lights? When you're washing the dishes, do you turn off the tap or you let the water running? When you're brushing your teeth, do you turn off the tap or is that an ongoing thing? I've noticed my water bill has trebled in size. Okay, there's this one thing that we recently had a discussion about. And then I feel a bit guilty as well. I came home one day and then I look at him. The man's got iPad on the side. He's got his phone that he's holding. So the iPad is watching some NFL. He's watching football on his phone, and then he's got the TV on.
Wow.
3 devices.
Wow, he wants to stay updated.
How is it possible for someone to multitask like that? And then you have me at the side trying to talk to you as well. Clearly, you're not paying attention to all of them. Energy that you don't need to be wasting.
You know, that's so funny because I wonder what things he picks up of you. You probably pick all these things up, but there's probably things that he thinks of you, like you are so like, no, you always do this.
I asked him that, and he said, there's nothing that I would change.
It's just being nice.
Well, if he's not honest, that's your problem. If you don't want me to change anything, I'm not going to change. I'll give you another example.
Okay, go.
We're washing the dishes, right? And I have this roll of, not toilet paper, you know that big fat roll of tissue, the towels. Those are specifically designed for dirt that you can't get off a cloth. So like, you clean up Chanel's piss on the floor. You have to throw away that. You wouldn't use a cloth for that. So I also have 2 designated cloths one for wiping the counter and like daily wiping, and then one for specifically drying the dishes. Why is this every single day I catch this man using the towels to dry dishes? No wonder why the freaking towel's gone down. We have to keep on replenishing this. This is boys' math for you.
This is what I mean, guys, about, you know, moving in with your partner. You see all these niggly things that you never used to learn before. Also, can we just acknowledge that my sister like tried to go blonde again? Like she went brunette. Can you guys just put in the comments and make her decide and let her know she should never go blonde again? Just stick to be brunette.
This is not blonde.
You went blonde and I told you it looked crazy. You need to go back.
I'm still getting used to the darkness and being more sultry.
Overall, are you still happy?
I'm really happy.
Recommend relationships? Because I think for a long time, I think you held onto this identity that you were single. You used to go online and tell your dating stories. So I think, like me as well, I never used to drink alcohol. And I feel like I held onto that identity for a long time.
I held on to this, it's my sort of vibe, sort of thing, being the single friend, telling all the happy stories, new adventure every day, and I've got tea to tell you, girl, all the life updates. And I felt like that was also my persona for such a long time, and also built this social media platform where I talked about my dating life for so long. And it's so difficult when you pigeon yourself into that identity. It's so hard to let go because now I think, oh my God, am I boring? Because I'm in a long, stable relationship. You ask me an update, what update is there to tell you, girl?
Yeah,
like,
same old.
I'm surviving over here.
Okay, little life update about me. Listen, don't know about you. I know it's your channel, but I am the guest. I feel like this year I've gone through such a big change in my life mentally. With the previous years, I was always kind of like juggling everything. I always kind of prided myself being a hard worker. I had a lot of self-worth in like how hard I worked, and if I didn't work hard enough, then, you know, I didn't do a good enough job. This year I basically hired a life coach and she's taught me so much. I might do like a whole like makeup and mindset video on my channel. I basically really learned a lot about boundaries, and I've always kind of heard this word boundaries kind of like flung around. It was only until this year I realized that what is boundaries? I think a lot of times it's like boundaries within myself. For example, one of the things that I really wanted to work on was like spending more time with my family. We have so many nieces and nephews, but I would always make these excuses that I'm working, and I really realized I'm like, if that is an important thing for me, then I have to make the boundary within myself to stop working to make time for my family.
That's such a new perspective and eye-opening, because I always thought creating boundaries with other people, but creating within yourself, that's a new way of looking at things.
And even learning, whenever I say like, oh, you're so stupid, or like saying horrible things about myself, I have to learn, no, I can't do that anymore, because I need to be my own cheerleader. I can't be the one that's putting myself down.
Okay, you need to give me tips and tricks on how I do that, because I still do that on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can I afford to have a life coach?
I can be a life coach. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I definitely feel like this year I really started to look into what makes me happy. Before I used to be such a people pleaser, and even though I didn't want to go to an event or got so many things things on my plate right now, but I feel guilty for saying no. So I end up putting more and more things on my plate, and then I feel so tired, so exhausted. I get snappy at Guang. I'm not really a nice person to be around. And now I've really learned my routine. The things that I really want to focus on is spending time with my family, building my personal life, growing a team, and also building a brand. Those are the 3 priorities in my life right now, and anything else that kind of takes away from that plan. One of my mottos this year is that if it's not like a hell yeah, then it's a hell no.
This is completely different to your motto the previous year, where she wants to say yes to everything.
I feel like last year was the year. I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna go to all the festivals. I'm gonna let my hair down. I feel like I really got that chapter out of my life. You know, you go through different seasons in your life. Like sometimes you're outside, and then sometimes you need to put your head down, graft,
focus,
work, so you're able to kind of sow your fruit.
Sow your seeds, eat the fruits. Something like that. You guys know that. In the coming months, I'm celebrating my 40th birthday, and I'm going away to Mexico.
Oh my god, wow. Turn in the big 4-0. You know they say that you have your mini life crisis.
Definitely your midlife crisis.
A lot of women actually go through divorce, they break up from their relationship, they find out and discover a lot about them or what makes them happy when they're around the age 40. Let us know if you're around the 40 age mark, if you agree with that.
Definitely feel I'm going through a mini crisis at the moment, which we are going to delve in.
When I turned 30, I was like, there's so many expectations to where you should have been. How would you overall rate your 30s?
I think I loved my 30s.
Oh,
it is an era of self-discovery. You feel this new sense of confidence and self-belief in yourself. These doubts have been removed, and this self-acceptance. You're more reassured of your decisions.
Maybe a bit more stable.
Financially stable, and your career is on the good trajectory. But they say the 40s is where life is best.
Amazing.
The 40s are the new 30s. No, the 40s are the new 20s.
Yeah. That's more like it.
We're also going away in August. We're going back to my home country again. My boyfriend loved it that much that he wants to go back. And we're also going to Shanghai as well. I'm going to try and vlog the journey. So if you're interested, make sure you tune back in.
You might see it next year when it's uploaded.
One of the things that I was so nervous about when we went to our first holiday, we only been away for such short periods of time before. It was like 4 days, 5 days maximum. And I've always been the type that go away for like 3 weeks. So last year was the first holiday that we went on as a new couple, going for over 3 weeks. And I was actually really nervous about it. In my mind, I was like, oh, it could be better. I had a lot of doubts in it. I enjoyed it, but I always like self-conscious, did he enjoy it?
Especially because you're showing him your home country as well. You feel a sense of responsibility that you want them to like it.
Yeah, and I always think, oh, this could be better. When he reviewed and gave me his perspective, he said he loved it so much. It was one of his best holidays. I really felt this sense of encouragement. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel so proud. I felt so accepted. My boyfriend really embraced my culture, my history. He found it amazing. Wow, this is what it feels like to have a very good and supportive, accepting, choosing you, only you partner.
Oh, that's really nice. Well, my sister really inspired me on her Vietnam trip because I haven't been home in like 10 years. I have this almost negative connotation about Vietnam that it's old and dirty. You know, I don't know.
I just changed much there.
Oh yeah. Now it looks a lot more developed now. Like people who speak English. I end up booking my own trip. I'm actually gonna go for 3 weeks also to Vietnam. I'm gonna be traveling around Vietnam as well.
I am so bummed about this because we said that we was actually going to go away. We planned to go away at the same time, but conflicts of diaries and schedules meant that we couldn't make that happen this year. Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future we might end up going back to Vietnam.
I think she secretly said that her timing schedule's not right because she didn't want to go and travel with me.
Now that you've been in a relationship for a long time, are you getting that question as well? Like, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids?
I think this is definitely the midlife crisis that I'm talking about. Really? I've had a lot of serious self-talk with myself, actually facing my reality of my timeline. Growing up, I always thought that I would get married, have children. Now that I'm at the stage where I actually have to think about this, and this is possibly could be my reality.
Yeah, because I think because before you've always been single, so you never had to think about, are you definitely going to have kids? You kind of thought, oh yeah, I'm always going to have kids, but you've never had a partner, so you never had to think about it. But now you have a long-term partner, especially around the 2-year mark, that's when you start talking about serious topics now, you know?
Because of my timeline, I don't know if I'll get married first. In my mind, I always thought that I'll get married first and then have kids, but because I'm an older person, an older couple,
more mature, as they say,
I think more likely for us, the more priority discussion that we need to have is, are we planning to have kids? And if we wanted to get married later down the line, that is still an option. I was even thinking about this, and I only came to this realization around about a few days ago about, do I want to get married? I don't think I want to sign the paper on the dotted line. I like the idea of being asked.
Oh, she wants a ring, guys.
But I want the diamond ring, and I want to know that my partner actually chooses me and he feels that I am the type of person that he wants to spend his life with. But do we have to go down the road of having the wedding and the big ceremony that creates a lot of anxiety within me?
Well, I say this, and then people always counteract with saying that you can just go sign the papers. So is it actually that?
Your relationship is about your relationship. Now you're getting the government involved.
There is a difference between wedding and marriage. Something that gives me a lot of anxiety is actually the wedding. But I actually like the idea of being married. I like the idea of like you're committing yourself to each other, like till death do us part. But also at the same time, I think it's like 42% of UK marriages end up in divorce. And would you actually go into something knowing that almost 50% of it is not gonna end up in your favour?
And on the good side for us is because we're an older couple, more mature couple,
Yeah.
we have this sense where we know what we want in life. Your mind has developed where you kind of know who you want in a partner, what you like and dislike. Never know, I could get married in the future. The minimum I think I would want to be asked.
Okay.
At least I get that engagement ring, you know, that diamond ring.
Do you feel the burden of your body clock?
Recently, it has been the forefront of everything that's going through my mind.
Yeah. I think you did say that one of your goals this year is to come to a decision on whether you want to have kids.
Yeah, and I keep pushing that. Oh, maybe next year I'll make that decision. I need to make this decision sooner. It's also really unfair to my partner as well. We have discussed about kids. He is reserved about having kids, but he sways more on the side of, yes, I would like kids. Me, I have so many concerns over the idea of having kids. Back in the day, I always say, oh yeah, I'm gonna have kids. And one of the reasons why I bought like a 3-bedroom home is because, I'm gonna have children, I'm gonna raise my kids here. So that idea has always been implanted in my mind. And now when push comes to shove, I'm really struggling with that idea of losing my identity. I'm in this era now where I'm really into my fitness at a place where I'm much more happy with how my body is, feeling more comfortable in myself, being in a more stable financial place and getting my freedom. I feel that this is going to be stripped away from me.
If you guys have watched the video that we just filmed on my channel where we talked about generational trauma, because she's the oldest daughter, they do say statistically that if you're the oldest daughter, you're less likely to have kids, especially when there's an age gap, because I think for a long time my sister had to look after the siblings, and because mum didn't speak English as well, you had to come to the parent-teacher conferences.
I felt all my life I've had responsibilities after responsibilities when it comes to looking after my siblings, taking care of the household, taking care of my own parents.
Yeah, when you used to go out, we had to go with you.
I just felt a sense of responsibility all my life, and then now I finally in a good position financially and having the ability to do what I want when I want. I haven't lived that stage long enough to really enjoy it. I feel like I'm having to give it all up.
Are you willing to give it up?
I visited my friend recently and she was like really upset. She said it's beautiful being a mum. Her identity now is just a mum. She's given away all her dreams.
That's my worst fear. I don't know why, for me, the idea of just being a mum. So I'm very sorry, I don't want to offend anyone who's just a mum out there. You might love just being a mum. I think for me, the idea of giving up my dreams, my goals, my aspirations, and who I aspire to be, just be a mum, I'm like, no. It's like you feel like you're giving up yourself.
That she doesn't want to be in a full room and just talk about kids. She said it's so boring. There's more to me than just that.
It tends to happen though, because I'm in a room with a lot of mamas these days and there's a lot of kid talk.
I think it's just a short-term thing that she's going through. I'm sure the baby will bring her more happiness than this.
Isn't it so funny we give advice like that, but then for ourselves we're like, oh!
I'm still in a position where I can make that choice now. She has already made that choice. If you were to put it in a negative spin, it's not going to benefit her in any way. These are the cards that you have chosen.
You might as well look on the bright side.
Having said that, I would love to be a stay-at-home mum. As long as the money's been given to me and I have my sense of freedom, I would be happy. But having said that, I am such an independent person. I don't know how I would feel about, can you give me money today to go here?
I don't even know if it's just that. It's just being at home all day. You have to be the one that does the mental load of cooking, cleaning, being responsible for other people, feeling frumpy, not feeling your best.
Yeah.
Like, all of these things come with like being an at-home parent as well. It's not as easy as everyone says, I'm sure.
I think it's also really important how your partner treats you. I feel that when you're a stay-at-home mum, sometimes you feel unappreciated and then you don't feel sexy. When you're out out in the real world, there's always a risk factor that, hey, you could lose me. Now, you know that I'm just at home. I don't know, there's this sense that there's not this threat no more.
Is this your toxic behaviour coming out again? What happened to be stable?
Well, I feel that it's important to be stable, but there has to be this element of you having a bit of fear in you. You do not want to lose her, because otherwise you would end up taking that person for granted.
Yeah, that's true.
When you hand it everything on the plate, that person thinks, oh, you're never going to leave. Some people take advantage of that. Hopefully you've got a nice partner that won't take advantage. You never know. People change. I am in a position where I'm so lucky. My boyfriend is so supportive towards how I feel, and that's all you can ask for in a partner. When I vocalise to him my concerns, he would always put me first. Whatever you want to do, I pick you.
I think sometimes that's harder then, because he's not saying I want this. It's up to you, and then you feel guilty because you know he kind of wants it. You have to make the decision.
If he was the one that was pushing for more of it on, I would be more swayed. But when we're both unsure, if I say yes, then now all that responsibility lies on me. I recently have this really troubling factor in my mind where I feel I'm not taking accountability for my actions and decisions.
I feel like a lot of times you're quite avoidant about the subject.
Whenever we try to talk about the topic, I kind of ignore the subject. We're in a space where I'm trying to talk about it more, and I'm kind of pushing this pressure onto him to say he needs to be the one that's more encouraging me if he wants a kid. You need to step up. You need to show me that you're ready, you're capable, you can take care of me. When I reflect on this, I think deep down it is me trying to avoid accountability. Say, for example, if like later down the line if we do have kids, and I can say it was you.
Yeah.
That is the reason why we have kids. I didn't choose this life.
Well, that's why he wants you to make the decision.
And then I also feel like, should it be this difficult? People that want to have kids, they should just say yes without this sense of fear. I think it's natural to have fear and like you to be scared, but to have this amount of fear, it is just making me even more worried.
I definitely think it stems down from trauma. Sometimes you make it a bigger deal in your head because you're not talking about it, but once you actually just talk about it and just kind of say all the things that you're worried about, then the partner can make you feel a bit more like secure. You speaking about stuff like this, and hopefully like reading through the comments, it will really open up the subject and kind of bring different points of views. You know, they always say there's never really a right time.
If I really think about it, at this moment, I don't want a child, but when I think of the bigger grand scheme of things in, say, 10 years' time, will I be happy with just me and him? Yeah. I always envision that, we're going to have celebration Christmas, have my kids over. Would I be happy in 10 years' time with just me and him? When I think about it, that's quite a lonely thought.
You don't want to live your life with regret.
If time was on my side and I can delay this decision another 5 years.
5 years? Can't, girl, let me tell you, you can't.
I would be, yes. Still in the phase of learning about each other. Do you know what gives me hope? Kourtney Kardashian, she's like 46. She still had a kid. Recently, I saw this girl on TikTok. She got a kid at 49. She can do it. Why can't I?
I'm sure Kourtney Kardashian got chefs. She's got nannies. She's got unlimited money. There's definitely reasons why she can just like snap back.
I'm in my fitness era. This is the moment where I've been the most happiest with my body. When I take off my clothes, I feel confident and I feel more happy. There's always a sense of improvement there, but I feel like I'm a work in progress and I'm closer to my goals than anything. And I really struggle with body dysmorphia, and I feel with pregnancy it's something that will really affect me, because just the thought of it is giving me loads of anxiety. I'm losing sleep over it. I've been crying behind the scenes, going to my partner, and then we've just been having like quite uncomfortable moments together. This should be a beautiful experience that we're sharing and an exciting thing, and it's become such a stressful thing to talk about. So he feels like we should just pause on this topic and then come back to it at a later stage.
I also feel like you're just kicking the can down the road. Like, you just need to face the fact that your body will change, and it's not you're gonna go back to being a slob like how you was before. You've adapted being fit and like working out now. Yeah, you will gain weight. You just have to think it's a lifestyle change. It's not about trying to get to a goal and then you're gonna be skinny.
I always have this sense of urgency and sense of it needs to be done now. I've started to come to a realization it's an ever ongoing journey. It's never going to be a stagnant way of, this is it, I'm happy. It is something that I need to really digest and process.
What are you doing right now that's helping you make a decision?
I'm trying to put myself in environments where there are more children and kids to try and see if it can spark this maternal instinct within me. Trying to spend more time with my nieces and nephew. That was a traumatic experience within itself. Let me just give you a little story. My brother, he's got 6 kids. Me diving myself in that situation where we had to handle 4 kids in a row, 2 twins, 2 other children that was under 5. It was an experience. I came back home crying. I need to think to myself, this is not reality. I'm thinking of 1 kid, not 4 kids.
And I think it's different as well, because they always say that other people's kids is not going to be like your kids. When I look after Chanel, it's like, obviously when you look after Roller, who's annoying, with your own dog, it's different for some reason, guys.
I'm hoping that is true. It'll be too late when I realise that.
Yeah, don't take some vaccines.
It's been wonderful spending more time with my nieces and nephew, but it was a lot to take on and really social overload.
You spend time with them, but you can give them back.
This is gonna be full time. It also brought an argument with me and my partner at the time as well. Again, this relates down to me asking him, prove it that you want to have children. Yeah. You need to put yourself in that environment as well. I remember he went out the night before, knowing that I told him a few weeks ago, we're gonna spend time with my nieces and nephew, 4 of them. In that morning, he said that, babe, I'm feeling tired. If you don't mind, I'm gonna stay home. Obviously, I'm like, oh yeah, you need to relax. But it triggered this thing. I felt so annoyed by the end of the day. Twins were crying.
You wanted some support, I guess.
When you have a kid, there is no choice. You have to do it. Now that you're given a choice, you're already saying no. So when it comes down the line, you can't say no. I felt so much like a resentment, anger that day.
Yeah, I think it's hard because if you're saying that he wants to have kids, he's not showing you.
I want to see him, how he behaves with children.
That just goes to show that you need to communicate your feelings, because he's probably just feeling tired. He's not thinking that, because he's saying he's not going to come, now you're going to be resentful. Obviously, if he knew that, he would have just come. That's down to you and your communication.
And then I want him to come without me having to say, can you come?
But that's not how it works. They can't read your mind. If you want him to come, you're going to have to say that. You can't want him to come and be disappointed when he doesn't come.
I just want him to naturally want that without me having to tell him, can you do this? Can you do that?
Yeah, but I do think it's different when it's not your niece and nephews as well. I think maybe with your niece and nephews, you'll be more up for it.
Other things that I've started doing is looking financially how it will impact us. So I've looked at maternity pay.
Oh.
Yes, you don't get much pay.
Oh, okay. Down and up over there, guys. Not much to look forward to.
Having this open discussion with my partner saying how he would financially support us and just being more aware how much we will need to save and plan. The Virgo in me is like, we need to plan. And he was like, babe, we'll be okay. He always reassured me with all these words, but I am the type of person I need to see in action. Maybe you need to start paying the bills from now.
You just having conversations like this, I think is really important. I think a lot of times my sister would feel all the things, she'll say it to me. It's such an awkward conversation to have as well, but I think now you've been in a relationship for a long time, you're going to have those harsher conversations and those conversations that normally people want to avoid.
Having more serious conversation, because you can have conversations, oh yeah, we want kids. That is just like a very casual, but now when you're getting into nitty gritty and see, this is how it's actually going to work. Yeah. This is the things that we need to put into place, and that reality will actually make us both realise whether we want to have kids, and it is a joint decision. It's giving the other person an opportunity to vocalise how they truly feel, because at the end of the day, if I come to the decision to say I don't want kids and he now realises he really wants kids, then maybe we're not compatible, and it's giving ourselves freedom to decide that are you the right one for me. And the longer we delay that process, the more one person's not going to benefit.
Better just have these conversations, and even if it might not end up in the way that you would hoped it would, it's actually better in the long run.
And it's just this freeing feeling. I think one of the things that I really struggle with is this limbo feeling. One of the things I said to my partner is, say we do want children, I am going to put a time limit on. I don't think I'm going to be the type of person that would go through IVF if it doesn't happen for us. We will try naturally for say a year or a year and a half, I don't know. And if it doesn't happen, then we're just going to give up. I don't want to be where it becomes emotionally draining. We can't have kids. We're going to go through IVF, through so many medical procedures, and then you don't actually get to live and enjoy life anymore. And you're so focused on this. If it is part of our journey and if it's meant to be for us, then it will.
I agree with that. I feel like this is such a deep topic that a lot of people can hopefully relate to, or maybe some people that's watching this have always known that they wanted to have kids. I want to ask you guys, okay, no mum guilt here. Is there any regrets? Okay, would you recommend it? What is life actually like? I know everyone always says it's the best thing that's ever happened to them and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, it's probably also the hardest thing that you've ever had to do. Yeah. Talking to someone that still has a choice of whether they want to do it or not, like, would you actually recommend it? And then also the people
that don't have kids.
Yeah.
I also want to know, do you have any regrets, or was it one of the best decisions you've ever made?
Yeah, how did you come to the decision?
Please add any advice and anything that springs to mind down below, and hopefully it can spark some deep thoughts for me, help me along this journey.
I also want to say there's nothing wrong with not wanting to have kids as well. Not everyone needs to have kids. It's not in everyone's journey. Even just making that decision, I'm sure a weight will be lifted off your shoulders. Don't feel social pressures. Like for a long time I always felt pressure. Like me and Graham have been in a relationship for it'll be 17 years this year. We should be married and doing all these things. It's all about what do you want for your life? What do you envision your life? It's really staying true to yourself. As much as we're asking you guys for, you know, your opinion, but also not letting that sway us too much.
Another thing that plays in my mind is I bought a home because I want to give it to my kids as something for them after my passing. And my parents couldn't give me that. Gee, that's a waste of time.
Oh, you could always give it to me.
Hey, you'll be dead the same time as me, yeah? Not much longer.
Hey, you're mature, yeah?
Thank you so much for having this conversation with me and having this open space for us to discuss whatever's on our mind. I hope it was a relatable topic and freeing for me to just express how I'm feeling at the moment.
We really want to do more of these like sister time, girly time chats. So if there's any other topics you guys want us to talk about, let us know down below in the comments. And we love you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.